in to the hottest station on the planet.
Resistance is futile. The revolution has begun.
You're listening to Rebelpreneur Radio, helping you break the rules and build the business you need for the life you want. And now, broadcasting his pirate signal
from somewhere beyond the status quo,
here's your host, best-selling author, marketing and media strategist, Ralph Brogden.
Hello and welcome to Rebelpreneur Radio, the show that helps you build the business you need for the life you want. I'm Ralph Brogden. All of us have dreams, and we have goals, and we have purposes and passions. Of course, the question is, how do you make your dreams come true? How do you fulfill your personal and your professional dreams? And how do you overcome those obstacles that keep getting in your way? This is something that I work with in myself on a daily basis. And thankfully, there are people in the world who are specially trained in actually doing this for people. And I'm very privileged to have one of those experts on today's show. Her name is Bev Joy Ehrlich. She is a certified dream coach and a graduate of Marcia's Dream University. So as a dream coach, she helps you achieve your dreams in the areas of health, wealth, relationships, or spiritual, whatever your needs are. She offers a step-by-step process for connecting you to your life's purpose and your passion. She also teaches you how to make changes in your mindset and beliefs, and she helps you uncover what's sabotaging your successes so that you can remove those obstacles and make your personal and professional dreams come true. So, Bev, it is really a pleasure to have you on Rebelpreneur Radio. Welcome.
Thank you, and thank you for hosting me this evening. Well, it's evening for me.
Yes, and I should mention, which is really cool, that you are joining us from Israel right now.
Yes, I am, from a chilly Israel.
Chilly Israel, where you are expecting snow in Jerusalem, I understand.
Yes, we're hoping for snow tomorrow.
It is just so neat to be able to connect with people all over the world and tap into their expertise. And when you talk about changing mindsets and beliefs, that's really my area of interest and expertise, because it's so universally needed. But before we get into the specifics of how you do that, first tell us a little bit about how you got started as a dream coach. What brought you to the place that you are now?
Okay. Well, I had a big dream when I was a little girl, and that was to come and live in Israel. And when I became adult, I met a man who's now my husband, and we had the same dream. A dream is just simply something that matters to you and that you're willing to take action on it. And when we first shared our dream, we had a lot of naysayers like, what do you mean you want to go to Israel? Where are you going to live? How are you going to work? You should go to the States. You can make lots of money there. And what I discovered was that when you're on your path and you meet a naysayer and you're not convinced that your dream is good, everything will be turned upside down. But if you meet a doubter, let's say, on your path, it might be an opportunity for you to recommit to your dream. And that's where we were. So all these like negative voices that were coming in just made us more convinced, and we had a stronger conviction that this is what we wanted to do. And that's what we did. We accomplished this, one of many dreams, but this was one of the biggest ones, to come and live here.
That's a really interesting point that you bring up, because I think a lot of people, when they begin to get negative feedback, they take it as a sign that they're going in the wrong direction, or they're not cut out for this, or something is wrong with them, or maybe everybody else is right. But what you're saying is exactly the opposite. If you get negative feedback from people and you get doubters and naysayers, it's probably a clue that you're on the right path.
Well, I wouldn't say it's necessarily a clue that you're on the right path, as much as your doubts and fears are really, I believe, they have wisdoms to teach us. And if you turn that doubter voice down, you'll get the realist. And the realist is going to ask, so what's your plan? Where are you going to get the time? Where are you going to get the money? And it's almost like if I'm planning a journey, I need to know where my starting point is, and that's what your realist is. Let's have a look. I want this dream. Do I have enough money? Do I have enough time? And then you so beautifully said, if I was on that journey and I got a puncture, is that the word you'd use in the States? A hole in my
like a flat tire?
A flat tire, yeah. Mm-hmm. Would that be a sign that I need to go back home? Oh, this is a sign from God, I need to go back home? Or do I need to readjust, realign, fix, and then continue on my journey? Mm-hmm. So I really believe that the doubts and the doubter voices that we hear all around us, within ourselves and without, bring us wisdom so that we can produce a strategy to manage them.
Very good. So you are all about trying to help people to develop that strategy, to find out what their dream is, and then create a step-by-step process for helping them connect to their life's purpose and their passion. Tell us a little bit more about the types of people that you work with. Who are your ideal prospects?
Okay. So people come to me from all walks of life. They have a dream usually. It could be to improve a relationship, or they're struggling in a relationship, or they're struggling in a job, or they have health issues. I'm going to put aside the spiritual side at this moment just to explain that the work I do is kind of like a hybrid. So they'll come with a, so to speak, outer desire, the dream, which has specific steps. But then I also take them on a spiritual journey, if you like, of let's not just stay in our rational heads and be controlled by our thoughts. Let's also go a little bit deeper into our feelings and our bodies so we can expand our bandwidth and use everything to accomplish that dream.
I like that.
Does that make sense?
Yes, I really like the holistic approach, that you're not just working with one dimension of a person, but you recognize that people are fascinating, and there's lots of different layers and complexities to people. And if they present, as they often do, with a complaint about one area of their life, usually that area is connected to some other areas that need work on as well. So you help them connect the dots with all of those areas.
Absolutely, because we come into our adult lives with woundings, if you like, or traumas, and sometimes those traumas have been so big for us when our parents weren't able to hold a space for us, that we present in our adult lives sometimes as a 3-year-old. And I believe that all our woundings are created in a relational space and can only be healed in a relational space. So sometimes when I hear a younger person speaking and I can point that out, then we can reintegrate that into the person and they can move on with their lives.
Did I hear you correctly when you said that you believe that all of our wounds are in a relationship context, and therefore our healing has to take place in a relational context as well?
Yes, I often hear people say to me, I don't need any help. I do everything alone. And that's a very young voice. That's a young child who maybe, as children, we move away from our parents to explore our world and we come back. But if our parents aren't able to receive us or hold us for whatever reason, or we don't feel held, then we take that overwhelm and we create something very intelligent. But then we behave as an adult in the wrong time zone, if you like. We're behaving like the 3-year-old or the 5-year-old. But we're actually the adults. So in a couple, you might have 2 5-year-olds actually fighting. And of course they can't come to any resolution because 5-year-olds just don't have those tools. So if you recognize what's speaking here, then we can integrate and move forward.
That's really cool. So with the people that you're working with, and it's very true also that some of us have just never grown up, or maybe we've matured in some areas, but when we go through a crisis or some type of a circumstance, then that inner child comes out and we regress. So with all the different people that you work with, what would you say is the biggest problem that you see over and over again when you're trying to help people work through these issues?
The biggest problem,
yes,
the bottom line, is relationships.
Ah.
They might cover that in something else. I'm unhappy at work or I'm bored at work. But I would say the bottom line is relationships and pointing that finger outwardly. It's because of so-and-so that I'm so unhappy. It's because the boss just doesn't want to give me more interesting work or whatever it is. If I have to put it into one word, I would say all the things I really see are relationship-based.
That's so profound, and I've never really considered it, but what you're saying actually makes a lot of sense. When we are interacting with someone in the moment, we bring into that interaction all of the baggage from previous interactions with other people. We prejudge people. We assume. We don't listen. And so we've got all of these bad habits and bad baggage that we carry around from other relationships, and that affects all these other areas of our life. So you're saying it's all about the relationship and getting that worked out. But what does that look like? How do we see our relationships in a new way so that we're not hindered by previous woundings and failures?
Right. I love the way you just put that so beautifully into a nutshell, how every interaction has so much from the past for us. And another little secret is that it's not just our past. It's our parents' hurts that come down, our grandparents, our ancestors, and even a collective hurt. So, I'm Jewish, so there's certain hurts that come down with that. I'm Israeli. There's certain hurts that come down with that and come into my interactions in a personal way with my children, and then, of course, in a communal way, in a societal way. So your question is great. What do we do with that? So, fortunately, we have habits. So every day when I get up, I don't have to think, okay, how do I walk to get out of bed? How do I climb out of bed? I know that. But some of that time, we take that into our relationships as well, especially relationships that are not only intimate but more familiar. We we like sleep on the relationship. In other words, I know what you're going to say, so I'm not even going to have this discussion with you because I know what you're going to say. But if I can be fully, and this is what I do with my clients and hopefully in my personal life as well, if I can be fully with you and feel you at that moment, then I can hear you, then I can see. A relationship needs, for it to go into the future, it needs some kind of innovation, some newness. But very often our relationships are all based on our past experience. So I can hear you and feel you and understand where you're talking from. So now you're talking from that younger person. Okay. We can it's about, I suppose in one word, you'd say, present. I'm here with you now. I don't have my cell phone in the room with me. I'm just here with you.
Yep, that's so critical. And when I take that and I apply it to business, to really building the business you need so that you can live the life you want, which is the theme of everything we talk about. Business is all about relationships, isn't it?
100%. And every leader that is a successful leader, and we are leaders in our businesses, right? I think. I like to perceive myself. They're not into successful leaders are not just about doing. They're also about being. And being is that presence, so that if I walk into the office in the morning and I just take 2 minutes and I say, hi, Ralph, how are you doing? And I'm not thinking, the secretary needs me now, I need to make this phone call. I'm just take 2 minutes. Hi, Ralph, how are you doing? Or if I walk into a meeting and I say, let's just see, how does everybody feel here? And some people will say, I really don't want to be here. I hate this morning meeting. Just not to judge it, but to let it land. And then you find people are so much more creative, comfortable, and confident to express what they really want to say, not to take it personally. I don't want to be here. It's not about me. It's let me just hear what you have to say and make place for that in business and in every aspect of our life.
Wow, that's so cool to begin to conceptualize what this means. And my professional background and my academic background is in strategic communication. And that is the key to making all of these relationships work. And you're saying that all of these relationships is a key to making life and business work.
Beautiful. I like what you say, to making life work, because if I can relate to you and then you feel full and you relate to the next person, it's not just about you and me. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger. It affects society. It affects the collective.
Excellent. Excellent. So the other thing that you do that I find very interesting is that you teach people how to make changes in their mindset and in their beliefs. And that's something I'm also very interested in, for myself and for the clients that I work with. To change our behavior, we have to change our beliefs. What is your process for helping people change their mindset and their beliefs?
So just to reiterate that our beliefs are never neutral. They either move us forward or they hold us back. And sometimes they're not appropriate anymore. They belong to a different time. So in terms of the actual work I do, so people who come and want to create a dream, I take them through a 12-week step-by-step program where we set an intention, we get into action, and we look at our belief systems, we look at our failures. So every week we'll spend time looking what's holding you back now. Is it a belief? So we'll actually look at it and see. Beliefs are often expressed in generalizations, love and pain always go together, things like that. And we'll examine that.
But give us an example of some more generalizations, like nobody would ever hire me because, or I could never have a fulfilling relationship because, those sorts of things.
Yes, those are beliefs, and those are also younger people speaking. I could never have a fulfilling relationship goes back to an earlier time where when we talk in generalizations. That's a hint. That's like a clue. Sorry, not a hint, a clue that we're talking to a younger person. There's some reading there. So, yeah, I will look at all of those. And I'm not about changing people. I don't want to change you. I just want you to notice, how are you feeling and how are you feeling now? How are you feeling now in your body? How are you feeling? And being there. To have a space for that feeling, not to necessarily change it. And that's when I notice people begin to melt and they start feeling better. I don't really give ideas for why don't you try this or why don't you try that. I'll try and see if I can elicit that from the person. And then with that, I give them what I call a wow. Within 1 week, you said you'd like to make this phone call for this job, whatever. So within 1 week, can you do that? A small step that's not too overwhelming.
I really love that acronym. Wow.
That's from Marcia.
Within 1 week. That is so awesome. Well, see, and that's the thing. That's why I like to try and connect belief with behavior. Because we can try to sit here and manifest all these wonderful things and shift our beliefs to be more positive. But if we don't take action, if we don't have that wow factor, within 1 week, then we're not backing up our beliefs and our mindset with any activity towards something. And we've got to have both to be able to make that connection to our dreams, don't we?
Yeah, to manifest. Exactly. Would you like me to say a little bit more about that?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay. So the first step in creating your dreams is to set an intention. An intention is simply what you want. It's going to be the rudder that will move you through the waters of creating your dream. For some people, that's quite a difficult thing to say. What is it actually that I want? I know what I don't want, but I don't know what I do want. And then the second step is integrity. And integrity is all about our agreements. So you and I had an agreement tonight to get online at a certain time. For most people, I would say that's quite easy. We said we're meeting at 9:30. We met at 9:30. The second level is to keep agreements between ourselves. So I'm not going to eat any more sugar. The first chocolate cake that comes my way. And then the third level is keeping our agreements with the universe or with God. We have been put here with certain gifts that we have to give. And together, integrity and intention are the key to manifestation. And a little later, when you ask me about what I'm doing at the moment, what programs, I'll tell you about my Power of No challenge, which is all about how do we say no to what no longer works for us so that we can say yes to what does. And that is key to integrity, to keeping those agreements.
And I was talking about that with my wife just the other day, and she needs to learn how to say no. I don't want her to say no to me, but she needs to learn how to say no to some other things, some other opportunities. So tell us a little bit about that. What are you working on, and tell us more about that.
Okay, so this has been such a big challenge for me because there's so much technical stuff that I'm not so au fait with, but I've created a Facebook challenge, which will be broadcast next week on Monday in my Facebook group, and it's about the power of no. It's a free challenge which has five-minute videos which will come out every day, and then with a little baby step that I ask people to take, with the idea being, how do you, in business, in any area of your life, really say no to what no longer serves you, to what's no longer in alignment with you. I heard a beautiful thing the other day. Are you familiar with David White, the British poet?
No, I'm not.
Okay. So he said a beautiful thing that a friend of his has said, but I can't remember the name. The antidote to exhaustion is not rest. The antidote to exhaustion is wholeheartedness. So when I'm spending 30% or 60% of my time doing something I don't want to be doing, it's draining my energy. When I'm 100% involved, like I am here with you now, I'm not going to get off this call and it's going to be almost midnight and feel exhausted. No, I'm going to feel energized because I'm happy to be here. I'm here wholeheartedly. And that's what the power of no is, to say, where do I want to be? I mean, our life is so short. Why spend it on the things that other people can do, right? Where we can be doing so many other things that are of contribution in this world and generosity, because people who create their dream come true lives are people who are kinder and more generous and living longer and healthier lives.
Well, I really love that. That makes a lot of sense. And if we learn how to say no to things that no longer serve us, then we can say yes and respond positively to those opportunities, be more in the moment, and have more passion and energy to be able to make a bigger difference in the world. So I really love the ideas that you're sharing with us. And I really, wow, it's so transformational for business and for life. This has really been good. Any final thoughts or words of wisdom? You've already shared so much, but do you have any final words you'd like to share with our listeners?
So I have a program that's Turn Your Dreams into Dollars. And then I have the dream work, which is unrelated necessarily to manifesting it in money, but I have those two programs, Make Your Dreams Come True. I just wanted to end up by saying that really whatever you do in your life, it's never been a better or more important time for us to know who we are, what we want, and how to pursue it. Because a dream, as I said in the beginning, is simply what matters to you and what you're willing to do about it. And the world needs dreamers.
I love that. So this has been really, really inspirational, and I appreciate you sharing your time with us today. I've been speaking with Bev Joy Ehrlich, and I'm supposed to put that on the end to make it sound more authentic. But Bev is a certified dream coach, and she is here to help you achieve your dreams in health, wealth, relationships, spiritual, whatever the need is. And she works with people all over the world. She's in Israel, but you can contact her through her website at bev.co.il. That's bev.co.il. Bev, it's been a real pleasure to get to know you, and best wishes to you and your work. And thank you so much for taking time to be on Rebelpreneur Radio today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Ralph, and stay warm.
I will. Thank you.
You've been listening to Rebelpreneur Radio with Ralph Brogden. Download the show notes and much more at rebelpreneur.com.